All right, now let's look at number 18. It says the solubility of potassium nitrate KNO3 is 95 gram per 100 gram water at what? 60 degrees Celsius, and 32 gram per 100 gram water at what? 20 degrees Celsius. If 100 gram of water is saturated with what? Potassium nitrate at 60 degrees Celsius, and then cooled to 20 degrees Celsius, what mass of potassium nitrate crystallizes out? So basically, what we need to be aware of in this question is that the temperature determines the amount of what? Solute that will what? Dissolve in the what? 100 gram of what? Water. As you can see, at 60 degrees Celsius, the solute that dissolved in 100 gram of water is what? 95 gram. At 20 degrees Celsius, that is 1/3 of this first one, the solute that dissolved is what? 32 gram per what? 100 gram. Okay? So now the question is this. Now we have two temperatures, a very high temperature and a what? A low temperature, right? So the question here is this. Now if 100 gram of water is saturated, that means if 100 gram of water has enough, okay, has more than enough of potassium nitrates, if 100 gram of water has more than enough of potassium nitrate at what? 60 degrees Celsius, that is, it has more than this 95 gram, okay, that's what can be dissolved, all right, at 60 degrees Celsius, and then we now cool it down to 20 degrees Celsius. The question is, what mass of potassium nitrate what crystallizes out? What mass of potassium nitrate separates out of that what? Liquid. That is the one that will not what? Dissolve and form a solution with what? With water. So how do we calculate that? It's very simple. Mass that crystallizes out is equal to the mass at the highest temperature minus the mass at the lowest temperature. Okay? So now, look at this. The highest temperature is 60 degrees and the lowest temperature is 20 degrees, right? Now, the mass that crystallizes out at this 60 degree temperature was given to us as what? 95 gram. Remember, it's still 100 gram of water we're looking at. If 100 gram of water is saturated, okay, with potassium what? Nitrate. All right. So now, mass at the highest temperature is 95 gram minus mass at the lowest what? Temperature. Lowest temperature 20 degrees is what? 32 gram. Okay, so at the end of the day, the mass that crystallizes out is what? 63 gram. So this is the mass that will separate out of what? That solution, leaving the remaining one dissolved in the what? Substance. Okay, and if you check, this is actually true because 63 gram separates out, while the remaining part will dissolve when you reduce the temperature to 20 degrees. Okay, and of course you know that 32 gram per 100 gram water at what? 20 degrees Celsius. Are you getting it now? So it means that we have water at 60 degrees Celsius, and that water at 60 degrees Celsius has 95 gram of what? Of potassium what? Nitrate. Okay, now that 95 gram of potassium nitrate in that 100 gram of water at 60 degrees has what? Dissolved. Okay, now when it now dissolved, we now went on to reduce the temperature from 60 degrees to 20 degrees. We did not touch that 95 gram of potassium nitrate. Okay, we didn't touch it, which has already dissolved. We didn't touch it. So we now reduce the temperature to 20 degrees Celsius. When we reduce the temperature to 20 degrees Celsius, Something happened. Remember, we said at the beginning that 32 gram is what will now dissolve at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, not 95 gram anymore. So that 95 gram, what will now happen to it? Out of that 95 gram that has dissolved before, only 32 gram of it will now dissolve. Why? Because we have changed the temperature from 60 degrees to what? 20 degrees Celsius. So if only 32 gram now dissolves, what is the part that did not what dissolve? That is, what is the part that crystallizes out? So the remaining parts, after that 32 gram have been removed from that 95 gram, is that one that would now dissolve, or that did not dissolve rather, is that one that now crystallizes what out. All that's clear. All right, let's move on to the next question, number 19.